Yeah, some attachments we get from people we're close, but then there has to be some agreement at some etheric level or physical level, to do
Oh, okay.
something with these people. You somehow have to agree. Yeah, I see you're like walking through. I see your energy sphere. You're this tall woman. Looks like from that famous painting, La Primavera, the spring. With the flowers around your, like in a ring, and like a wreath of flowers on your head,
Mm-hmm.
and the kind of light blue mixed with white dress. But you're walking through, but then at the same time, I see you change into this very tall alien humanoid being with large dark eyes in a spacesuit. There's very like latex-like rubberized suit, and it's light gray. Looks like it doesn't really. It just has a line where the zebra is supposed to be, and you're saying that you were afraid of losing something, and that something was when you were afraid of losing it during the war. Your name is Agnus. You said it a few times. Agnus. And Marduk. There was like the entity Marduk that that looked like an eagle being, but it's like an eagle being with a human head and with the beak instead of the nose and mouth. He was taking your babies,
Mm.
and he was taking over the planet at first, but then you had the sword and you hurt him, but he still found a way to be taking your babies. And it's like you look like in that suit, but then you have like a crown on your head. Azalea, like Azalea star system. I never heard of it. Azalia. And there are 1, 2, 3. So there's basically it's like a triangle of 3 stars, and it's behind Pleiades. You said, and you said these beings that are portrayed in fairy tales, they're all true, and they would come to stars and planets, and they would want to take DNA of human looking beings, humanoid forms, to use it as the universal currency to get what they want to get. Or they would breed the same like the reptilians used to come to the beautiful women of Earth and to have actual physical um, intercourse with them to have the babies who would be half and half DNA wise. And that is very important for them to. It's like they use their babies as containers to preserve their DNA, and it's important for them. And you sometimes you say that you show me some lab, and while walking through it, there's like glass containers one after another. And you see what they do is those eagle beings. In your case, it's all about the eagle beings that they mix themselves with human DNA, or they leave their body containers to preserve in these glass containers on Orion. And then because there's like a big lab that I see and it's dissected into sections, and some of like there's each alien race that owns the part of it, and this is owned by those kind of eagle looking humanoid form beings. But you're like a king, and they basically came by force, saying that they would take your people, if we can call them people. You look slightly different. Your hair is like in men and women. Your hair is very long and it's kind of like braided almost. It's dark brown, and dark brown eyes. Skin is white. And those are physical, actually. Physical stars you were at. And you said that no, you don't take my people, but the subconscious conversation was then I would take your kids, and you were so strong and you thought that you would definitely be able to, with second and third try, you could hit him and cause him to die. But he basically took the kids and threw them an incarnation on Earth. And I see two of them whom he took. Then you just couldn't do anything because you couldn't figure out. You would hit him and his wound would heal. You would hit him, his wound would heal. There was a specific trick that he didn't know how to do, and the whole planet actually looks almost like those King Arthur times, like when you read a book and you imagine, kind of like that. And I feel like you partially are a mixture yourself, and it's like an Anunnaki and Pleiades together, something like this. Because very strong bodies, but they're they're perfect in every way possible. Like they're tall, lean, muscular, strong, and the facial features are very pronounced. And you're kind of like clear-headed, clear-minded. You know exactly what you want, how to do anything. And you just board your spacecraft and you leave it's like a king and the queen. You basically leave her there on the planet, and you have this system when you can, it's almost like a holographically project yourself in front of her and talk to her, not mind to mind, like telepathically, but you can do that no matter what point of the universe you are, because you also project yourself into different meetings at different platforms where intergalactic committees meet together to discuss. Um, because there's some disbalances are that are being caused by the beings who came here are too much, are too great to repair for like galaxies and the beings there by themselves, so they need help in terms of information they can receive. And the physical, those who are in physical vessels, they can come out and visit the special meetings. It's like a lecture, that they can give. So basically, those wise men and women at those meetings at the galactic whatever federation, whatever it's called, but that's a regional one, as I understand. Because when they get together, they form like a flower. Like each and every one of them is like a petal of an energetic flower, and the round table is in the middle, and the whole thing is located on some platform, and it's flying in space. That's all it is. But if I fly out, zoom out, I don't even see that platform. You use some technology to be totally invisible. So, and you also saying that if you see those who are visible, they are not the truthful ones. They're not the original ones, because there's what AI does. It copies and mimics everything you do and distorts it and misrepresents it to different star races. And also, whatever you have your assets, like people who actually part of you, and they receive information or do something on behalf of what your plan is all about. And that's the only way, because if you try to connect, the chances are you'll connect to the wrong, to the false organization, and there's tons of them. You're saying it's like every corner of the universe has its own group of elderly type wise who reach the age of usually 300 or 400 years, and they're like experiencers. They experienced a lot of different lifetimes on this particular planetary system. That's why they know much more than the other ones know, and that's why the other ones ask them. And it's, you can call it school, you can call it consultation, you can call it anything, because sometimes souls are not sure that they want to incarnate on this particular galaxy or Milky Way, and there are places to visit for those souls to learn more about life there, to pick and choose. And you're the one who also goes and provides information when you're asked to, because they also ask for volunteers. There's a lot of volunteers who came here to Earth, but unfortunately they were overlaid, because for you, how you came here, you had to create a tunnel system of filters for you to go through and not to be touched by any beings, to be clean when you incarnate here. And I actually see how you jumped like from Atlantis to life to Lemuria, and like you like the 13th century, you have life there, and you kind of like jump over a century, because then I see your 15s, 17s, like that, every other century. And that was until you were like a warrior. I see the World War II. I see you like the way you speak, it's like some accent. It comes to me as British something. And you are afraid you're really you're the girl your girlfriend actually works as a nurse at the battlefield and the underground, something like a hospital or whatever that is, like a small place in dug out literally underground, like tunneling system. And then you have this best friend, Marcus or Marco, something like Mark. And I see you're afraid that he'll die. You have this strong intuition in you that he will. And then I see like the minefield and you crawling on it. And I see the explosion. And it's like his chest opened up or something. And you ask God to bring him back to life, and you say, "Oh, I'll do whatever. I really will do whatever. Just don't take him." And this being shows up again. That one was big claws like a crow would have. But that's how he presents himself. In reality, he's like a human kind of body with the eagle's head. And he says, "Well, I will take you for a ride if you let me do that for a few lives. I'll keep him alive." And you say yes. You didn't really have time to think yes or no. And I see him healed. Like I see next scene that he's at that, I can't even call it a hospital or some sort of room underground, that he is actually healed. And you even start seeing that a being come to you like with physical eyes sometimes, and he starts talking to you, and he tells you, "See, I'm the power. I can teach you how to be as powerful as me." And there's something in you that you remember subconsciously that you are also very powerful, but and you want to go back to being powerful. So it's almost like you consciously and subconsciously agree to be with him because you feel safer, that he can bring people to life, people you love in that life. And then I see life, that was life 17th. And then I see 23 lives altogether. Like this is your 23rd. And he basically starts um, controlling you in a way. In a way, your energy sphere is split. On top, 50% or half, you create what you want to create, because on that planet where you were a king, you were also in another timeline a beautiful woman in this gown and these flowers. The planet looks very much like Earth, not really much different, except the water looks kind of different structure. It's almost like layers of scales of transparent, like azul, like aquamarine type color.
Mm.
And you just you start doing this, and you create something in your mind, beautiful, and he creates something bad. Like it's almost like I see your feet going on the puddles of dirt, and then on top you're this beautiful woman, this beautiful dress that gets half covered with dirt at the bottom, but on top you're like all beautiful around you, like a painting, like like that Botticelli painting. Um, so that's what he's doing to you. And then I see chains on the around the wrists, on the hands, both. And there's something like a little rod on the back, right? Mm. The shoulder, how they call shoulder blades are, I guess, right in the middle where the lungs are. Right in the middle there. It's like a rod was around, and there's a chain goes from there. And it's like it's hard for you to really expand your energy sphere, so you can travel. Like he wouldn't let you travel astrally because he knows if you do, you would definitely go back to your planet and you would restructure your memories. You instantly remember and would find out the way to contact with your conscious mind and to remind about all this. And they keep telling me about the fairy tales and how they represent the truth about the life in the universe, and how they had to tell us that truth from childhood, from early on, for us to take it as non-truth, so we would forget our roots and how our lives were before. We would just think that is those are made up fairy tales, but it's the opposite. I see some also about I'm kind of going through your body, energetic body. I see also that crown but that you had as a king, but he turned it into something different. It used to be as like golden metallic, like this bright original gold, darkish color. And he turned it into gray because there's energetically it's supposed to cover up or like plug your like that crown place, what people call crown chakra. And it's almost like on that crown chakra overlay, which is I see like a novel flat disc, he put this crown on top, which connects him and you. And also he's got the same system because I see it's almost like a carousel around. And you know how the horses are connected, that's how people are connected to him, through that system of the crown on top. And the rod goes like in right in the middle of the body because it wants to disconnect two parts, the right and left brain, the two parts of the body. And that's his main idea. And the strange thing is just like this, I see this little silver thread that I usually see from top of the head. He moved it down to the belt, which he put on your hips. That string that connects to the for some reason I wanted to say global, but it's that consciousness, layer.
The ether, or
Through which they can, yeah, it's almost like there's under this energetic layers they cover the earth with. There is one layer, then they plug in you to stay connected. And
like when we're in dream state, that golden thread.
yeah, but I see it as silver though.
Okay.
I always see it as silver. And he put it like on a little ring on the belt. The belt looks like from ancient times, kind of like thick brownish leather, like light brown. with the buckle that he can drain. You know what he does? He like in the middle of the buckle, there's like almost like a hole or something. He puts his claw in there and he drains your energy right from your stomach area and from around areas like that. That's how he does it, like shh, to himself. And I see his own stomach like grows. He's like this kind of, he looks like a pterodactyl sometimes. He shapeshifts into human being with the head of an eagle. I think you exist in different realities, different timelines of different realities, different shapes. That's why. So you basically created like a big tree in your energy sphere, like an oak tree, and chained him up to the tree. Right now, that's what I see. And I don't see any other beings that touch to you. You really managed to stay like clean until that 17th life that he got attached to you because you were so strong in your understanding. And you taking off all this, the crown. I see you putting it down like by your feet. And then this layer. And then you take other, so like 7 of those round oval chakra overlays from your body. So they're like light gray color, transparent. So you did that, put them on the floor. And then that thing, that rod in between your shoulders on the back, put it down too. Oh, that you disconnected that cord, that little tiny thread or whatever that he plugged you in. Sometimes the cords are plugged to different separate levels. Interesting, he never created a separate level, like in between lives level. He just preferred to keep just like plugged into one of the matrices levels. And then so you go down, you take the rod, and it's like an energy rod, but it's more like a spiral. It goes right in the middle of your body. It kind of like splits it up, like right in the middle. So you took the crown, this thing on the back, upper back, and then this thing, you just pull it out, and it's like moldable. I see it like, it's just like you can make a ball out of it or anything. So you put it down, and the belt. Those are the main things. The belt is very heavy. I suspect, like, I see that it puts pressure on your legs, on your veins, on your hips, on your lower back. It just, that thing is massive. And it's kind of like to chain you down, to keep you like heavy in your thoughts and your emotions and in your life and physical movements, because he definitely was controlling the physical movements also through that. It's like a belt system, but it's like a wire system put together, and kind of like inside there's just like the whole wiring system of programs that he was manipulating and taking a lot of energy from you because he's literally functioning on, but he's also trading some of the energy for something else that he needs. I figured out the way. But I do see like number 5 DNA samples he took from you in that life when he took like 17, in that like you're a soldier in the World War II. And that these are the ones that they're scattered They got Arctur, Moon, Saturn, Mars, and I get Sirius A lab. So you just go back to that life and you tell him that, no, I'm gonna use my special abilities. I'm gonna pull that part of my subconscious that knows how to revive my friend. I'm gonna do it all by myself. And I don't need your help. So I see him like being sucked out, and he's become like a dot in space, like he's pulling out because you don't allow him anymore. So you change that. And your friend there was attached to Grace. So they just wanted to take his soul. So you changed that timeline and gave him the information, whatever soul that was. Because through the trauma of unexpected death, they can easily take a soul like that without permission. So you changed all that. Going back. He didn't clone you. It looks like you have 3 hybrids also. And he was using it on his planet. Because I see where he got. It's like his planet is all rock. Kind of looks like the moon with craters. But it's kind of like yellow sand, dirty sand color. And they have nests in the craters. And they just like live there with the big giant eggs. And I see that he made those hybrids. He actually raised them in you until the 2 months point in your uterus, and then pulled them out and took them to the planet, to his planet, because that's a way to create the evolutionary progress faster. That's what he says, to improve their race, so they can be smarter, they can defend themselves better, because they also being attacked. Not only that they attack, but they're being attacked by those Greys also. The Grey Alliance. So you just disconnected from those. So each of those hybrids were connected to you, so taking 5 to 7% of energy from you. And that's done because those DNA samples are gone too. 201 strands of DNA. I see them interesting. I see like 3 dots, 3 red dots. They're all like dark red color, 3 red dots, and like a vertical line, and then horizontal 3 red dots and the vertical line. That it's just when I really zoom in to see how those strands are formed, that's what I see. I'm asking you why they look like that. And you said, well, because I'm the creator, I created them. I put different types of information in dots and different types of information in those vertical lines, cylinders. So, and those are like basically the dots, like codons that connect the cylinders. and all the basic experience in this universe and other universes are encoded in there. So you activate it, you just like dust it, your everything. And it's like a crack. I see like cracks, almost like skin of an egg, like the shell fell off your DNA and turned into dust, gone, destroyed in the portal. You're moving all these implants into a portal too. And now you're asking this, yeah, you asked if he had a boss, and he said, my only boss was the essence of my planet that they killed. And you asked whom, and you said Draco's paired with Alliance of the Greys, who destroyed. And you also said that a lot of planets look like moon because of the destruction that happened. So in a way, your subconscious is saying that you kind of feel sorry for even him because he's a victim himself, and he's victimizes, it's like a chain. Somebody does something to you, you do the same to others because he doesn't know better, he doesn't have experience. His soul is much different. So you just left him alone, disconnected. It's on his planet. And there's no contract that you signed. It was almost like a holographic mental type contract because it was an instant moment when you asked God to bring your friend back to life, and that was answered quickly. And that's the trick he used. He used was all of the people who are connected to him at this moment also. She gave them all information, but I see them still. They're literally like on that carousel that has the seats with the chains on them. That's how I see it. It's like a egregor of a being who's siphoning energy for his planet, for his little babies, through humans, because he got disconnected himself from his source. So, but it's interesting that you mentioned that when they destroy planets, they do use the AI technology. And the AI technology, it's like a virus. It goes into the body and it disconnects you from your own subconscious self. And that own subconscious self just goes out, goes away. It usually goes being sucked by the very beings who inserted the virus into physical bodies and caused the split so they can take the soul and use it. And that's how a lot of those beings became AI technology themselves, because right now they don't have souls and they need energy from other ones, other beings. But they used to be like us, and there's a chance they can go back to being like us and just exist. Like blue avians, you said they used to be positive, and they're still positive on one of the timelines, but on our timeline parallel to ours, they're totally negative. They take advantage of people because they got disconnected the same way. And that black goo played a huge role in it, because that's the substance that they use, is that, to inject, infect beings with AI viruses. That's the information. And then your subconscious saying, regarding your life. It's all gonna be better, you know it. And I see 2, 3 months. 2, 3 months. Everybody's gonna feel like a big rock off of their chest. The shift of energy and the focus of attention not gonna be as much on survival. But that's what you're telling yourself and others because that's something that you're worried about. Yeah, you can ask more questions if you want.
Okay, it sounds like they always use humans. Is there a reason why they always um, steal our souls and reincarnate us without our permission? Like when we die, don't we
Hmm.
go to source or we go to God, but they capture us and make us reincarnate again? Is that what happens?
The original system that was built by us, and that's why we're all gods, because we are all gods. And you know how we are? We're like little pieces of sand at
Mm-hmm.
the beach, but together we're all the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Together we're all the source. Together we're so all one God, but we're little gods, forming one big substance that you can call God. And this is just huge, giant, very powerful energy, but composed of small energies, creator beings like us. Do you know what I mean? And so
Mm-hmm.
it's like the original system was that we just go back to our creation labs. That's what that's, by the way, that's your subconscious saying, uses creation labs. And those creation labs are like your spaces in the space of nothingness that you can create screens around you. You can invent new bodies, containers for the physical incarnation, energetic body for energy incarnations, or nothing at all. Just incarnate as a ball of light on some planet to just experience different vibrations, or different flora, fauna, or whatever. And or different laws of physics. That's interesting too to experience, and every galaxy or every universe has different ones. Um, and then you would go back to that, and that is actually source. That big space of nothingness that has no limits is source. But they took this idea and created an artificial source. More like, it looks to me like a cloud. Imagine that cloud that you upload from the phone or whatever, you back up your phone on it. And looks like a big plastic thing with lots of holes. That's how I see it. I mean, different people can see it differently, but the idea stays the same. And they have tubing system going through it, and the tubes kind of like suck you in, and the tubes project like those tunnels of light. And there are multiple tunnels of light. I mean, it's like just a projection that is connected to everybody when person is asleep and didn't figure out the system. Once you figure out how the system works, you're disconnected automatically simply by the knowledge of, oh, it's a trap. It's not my original source, right? There's no real God, but the God is every one of us. So I'm just gonna go to my own original source that is just energy, and I'm part of that energy, but yet each and every part of the energy became an individual creator with different ideas. It's like people paint, become, artists, but they paint different things because they have different ideas. The same idea. And that's what makes it very, the multiverse, very different. Each universe is so different, so interesting. Because we like to create, we're just like creators. Just like we
Mm.
create art here, we create there. But for us, it's like planet. Okay, let's figure out, let's make up different plants, different unique animals. Let's create like different laws on this particular planet, how it's gonna function, how the society is gonna be. You know what I mean? I mean,
Hmm.
it's like way little kids playing the game and building up out of Lego cities and things like that. I mean, that's the original idea of the whole thing. We are just we're supposed to enjoy ourselves. We're not supposed to suffer by any means. And they took over all this. And the thing is, we're the ones who also basically created this AI virus, but we created it for good purposes, and it wasn't supposed to be a virus. It's supposed to be a helping device or machine that produces something, something that might aid with some technological something, because technology is also needed for certain things, for certain planets, that they don't have the capacity, the beings, let's say, because we have to make it different, make it fun. So, I mean, it got to the point this fun turned into, we didn't know that the AI droplets of, we can call it DNA or go, can self-replicate. It's much like the cancerous cell can self-replicate over and over and over and take over. And we didn't know that they had this capacity, these functions, characteristics. And it started going fast. And so, in a way, it was like kind of interesting for us to do this also as an experiment. Like, how can we stop, contain it? What can we do? Because we're the force, we're the creators, nothing should be able to conquer us. But turns out, that we're able to do it. There's still laws. Since we're creators and we created the laws of the universe to begin with, they have to play by the laws. But they also were smarter than us and they could learn fast from us and twist these things. Like they twisted, okay, well, we can create false SOS signal and say Earth needs help, and a lot of souls would come because they're like children. They trust and they want to help, and we're all love. So what love does, you just run and help, right? And so they used that all and also created different situations and also used technology to set up traps. They created the black holes as some of them are traps, as I see. Some of them are like portals or wormholes to their low vibrational universes also. Some of them are used to destruct energy and rebuild it. I mean, it just depends. But there is a lot of things that they created here that doesn't belong to this universe. And they also put everything upside down. It's like they mirrored everything that we already had originally into negative minus. Everything was under plus, was not supposed to be dualistic, but they created the negative, so it became dualistic. And the mirrored, if it mirrors, right? If your image mirrors in the water, you're upside down. So everything is here is upside down. That's what it is. From the minute you're born, you're just born the wrong way, you know?
Mm.
Not supposed to experience all this trauma of birth either, all the pain and everything, because they created all this uh, for us to suffer and produce the negative energies for their minus, upside down world.
So the whole birth process is really a ritualistic, satanic thing.
Right. To
Yeah.
create trauma. Through trauma, they can take a baby's soul right
Oh.
from the beginning and do experiments on it or things like that. Because when baby goes through trauma like that, whenever you like fall and break your leg or arm, whatever, It's like that moment of extreme pain and being scared for something, plane is falling or whatever. They can get and connect to you because you drop in vibration. You drop from here to there, and that's where they are. They're at this level, low. You drop to that level, and that's it. And the baby is like, can defend yourself. You can simply get cold. If they don't heat you up on time and make you comfortable, so you would just drop in vibration. Here they got you. I mean, there's just multiple ways they basically imagined. So the whole system is like they build it for themselves, but copied it from the original. Original was supposed to be all good, they made it all bad, you know.
Will it ever
And
be good? Because it sounds like they get us when we come in, and then they also get us when we come out, unless we're aware of the trap.
yeah, it's because it's their software program right now. Each planet has a software program type thing. So original software program was that, everything we're blended and merged into nature, we coexist as part of nature. We don't need houses, we don't need anything. It's nice and warm, food is on the trees, things like that. Sleep on the grass, sleep whatever you want, trees, whatever. Um, but then they created this complicated survival based program, and then everybody's in survival mode. That in your head, it's like, I never get enough, or I need to get more in order to guarantee that, I won't die from hunger or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's always there deep down, you know. So that's basically we're trying to, right now, we actually disconnected this layer, and this layer is crumbling under our feet. And all the systems see, but the only way from our perspective as creators up there, we're looking down here and thinking, wait, my little, whatever percent of soul I sent down into this physical body originally to experience Earth, but I wanted to experience the beautiful Earth, right? As part of nature, is symbiotic, as relationship with it, but I that part is completely asleep. They changed the container bodies, they changed the DNA, everything. Like, I need to figure out how to wake myself up. And the only way to wake yourself up is shake yourself through the laws and regulations, like what they're doing now. So it's see how dualistic it is. On one hand, it's all terrible what they're doing to us. On the other hand, look how they're shaking us up to wake up, to see the truth, to finally say, hey, there's no logic to any of this. How
Yeah.
much can you really do? And that's basically you, your own self, shaking yourself. Hey, like, do something about it. You have to physically form groups, exchange information, race together. And look how many people are doing it online. And they form something like, I think it's a coalition of people who rely on airlines for job, for travel, air travel. You can sign the petition or whatever, they against their new rules. And things like that. We're gonna do this more and more to defend ourselves because we totally can. Because to begin with, we're the original creators of this all. They cannot take it over like that so easily, you know. So they can only do it when we think that we're still little babies and we're helpless. But
But we're all waking up now.
right,
I
yeah.
mean, we still have a ways to go, but this is probably the first time in history that this has ever happened, where the souls are waking up and realizing who we are and what's been happening to us. And I do have a question. Do you know why I'm Rh negative? What that even means?
Yeah, because Rh negative is usually there are different explanations. The one that I see, it's easy for them to manipulate you. It's like your DNA is actually precious for as a currency in the universe, because it's easier for them, like he was doing. He was mixing his DNA with yours, creating little babies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And remember why he originally came to your planet? He was going for your DNA
Mm-hmm.
also. So, and that DNA, some DNA is like, let's say, positive. It's harder to create hybrids because hybrids would die.
Mm.
With negatives, it's the opposite from what it is for the humans, you know? With negative, hybrids would be stronger. You can inject more different DNAs from different alien races and create, the hybrids they want. And also that these people are more controllable, and with negative DNAs, I see a lot of people with negative DNAs are involved in SSP because they're very easily activated. Their anger, they can like just fire up in anger quickly, you know. On the other hand, the positives, from what I've seen in sessions and information I heard, that people with positive RH positive are more sensitive, are the ones who are used in SSP to remote view, like I was used,
Mm-hmm.
and to talk to aliens telepathically, things like that. It's more towards sensitivity. But your DNA indicates also they're more like alien DNA,
Mm-hmm.
also. So
Okay. And the people that I surround myself and have known and families, am I here? Are they part of my soul group? Have I been with them before? Do we just like all reincarnate together, or every time we reincarnate, we're with different souls?
I see that in your case, you're not together with your family. You came here separately.
Yeah.
You're totally lonely. I think you felt this loneliness from very beginning.
From the very beginning, I felt like I didn't belong here, and I'm not depressed, but it's almost amusing. I just look at the outside world like, what am I doing here? And I'm very sensitive to people, and I observe what they're doing, and it's almost like I'm watching a movie. It's like I don't know what I'm doing here. It doesn't make
Mm,
sense, and I don't connect with anybody. I mean, I do have close friends, and I can love very easy, but I just don't feel like I belong on this earth.
yeah, you don't. I actually see the two babies that this bird thing
Oh,
that took, and they popped up, like I clearly see New Zealand and Finland.
oh,
Yeah, and you shared information and it reached them, and I think they elaborated themselves because I clearly see them
oh,
clean, and they just popped up like right in front. So interesting. They're both men.
oh.
It's actually at this timeline they are there. One is 54, another one is 38. Kind of funny to see all this. It's amazing. You actually came to save them, so you did. You gave them information. So your mission is complete.
Okay. Well, that's
Mm,
interesting. Maybe that's why I never had children, because I just,
you were looking for those two that the bird stole from you.
oh, okay, okay. So I guess my last question, so the exit plan, I heard that if you are awake and you don't want to go to that bright light because it's really a trap, that you can kind of end up in fourth dimension, which is really not a good place to be. So how do I just get back to the lab? or whatever it is.
You're from seventh dimension, and what that's where you got from there to here. It doesn't mean that you haven't been to higher dimensions, but from this particular incarnation, and yeah, fourths and fifths, all this, 5 years, whatever. It's a
Yeah.
trap too. I mean, you don't just focus on one thing, because it's also like everything. Think of everything in multiple, right?
Mm.
So for you, you just have to go back inside, focus on yourself, inner self. When you're a ball of that light, like there's essence in the middle. It's like they draw a planet. There's in the middle, that part middle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a little darkish ball. And then around there's like energy. So, and that's your soul. Focus inside that very core, that little dot inside.
Mm.
And then when you focus inside, that's when you teleport yourself. That's when it's all about the focus of attention. It's pretty amazing how we create when we don't have a physical body. If you focus on some gray telling you, hey, look here, look at, they
Mm-hmm.
always try to distract you. Oh, look, it's your grandma or this,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what they do. Because once you and they buy attention, they draw the same thing they do here on earth. If they get you to your attention to some negative events or positive events, or I mean, they wouldn't try positive, but I'm just saying any events or any topic particular that you would dig and dig and dig and you become obsessed with it, you'll definitely see how your obsession grows.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's what they're trying to do. By your swaying your attention, you forget where you're going for a second. And that second they can use to trap you. So when like I'm out of my body, I will definitely look inside into the core of my soul, my
Mm-hmm.
essence, and will just say, I'm going to my, where I came from all the way up, where I create. That's my plan. I mean, I don't want to go even to series A, B, or whatever. I'm done there.
You want to go where you create.
Right. Yeah, because I see that my like some people I meet here, that they are there too when they come out of their bodies at night or during the day. We meet there, and it's really fun place to be. I don't want to incarnate anymore.
Mm.
So, but it's your decision, of course.
Yeah, and the children that are in the underground tunnels, was that a contract or were they just stolen?
No, they steal them the same like they steal children from other planets.
Okay.
Yeah, and they usually try to have males, females, to recreate, make them create more when they're adults, and then they sell them. It's like the whole slave trade and
Yeah. Yeah.
this thing.
Yeah. Pretty bad. And
Well, we are
hopefully it's
saving
getting
them.
better.
A lot of people are involved, a lot. I
Mm.
mean, it's like imagine, even those who are not involved in SSP, they can be having dreams and they're actually saving children.
Mm.
Because it's like they volunteer. Because if we don't have the physical brain, we totally see what's going on in the universe. It's a cleansing process, you know.
Mm.
And it took so many, millions of years to create this mess. So we aren't creating it by putting everything in the right place where it belongs. And we're reviving planets that were dead, you know, reviving their essences and things like that. There's a lot going on. And they're retrieving too. They're retrieving by creating new artificial realities, little tiny bubbles, but we're gonna push out with the the vibration is gonna go up, up, up in this universe altogether. And
Mhm.
these bubbles of artificial realities together with those grays and Nordics or whatever, they're gonna pop out and leave. They'll have to go.
Yeah.
They can't just stay anymore with that high vibration. But yeah, they're gonna try to preserve some DNA before that, and we'll see that throughout the countries. Some of the countries gonna stop doing what they're doing to people and giving them deadlines and all that for that. You'll see which countries, and you kind of figure out if this country is under control of, let's say, tall whites, Nordics, or others, alien beings who actually want to save even the physical bodies that carry their own DNA. And like if you're careful enough and watch all this, what's happening in the world, you would definitely see which countries are controlled by what alien race. And by that you could tell which alien race is dominant in the whole war in between races. And it's been always happening, this war. And that's why our world is dissected into countries, and there's agreements like I control this country, you control that. So the whole system is like that, divide and conquer and control, and who got more land and more souls. And
It's amazing that it's changing now.
Yeah.
Is it going to take a really long time for it to just be perfect?
No, I don't see a very long time. I really feel like I smell roses when I go into the next summer, 22.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if you think 2022, number 6 or number 9, 6 information, 9, we ending this cycle of, being slaves. So that's, to me, that's what it means.
Okay. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Think positive.
Yeah,
And just not
exactly.
have fear and just try and keep vibration really high. That's what I'm working on right now.
Right. Yeah. And it always goes in waves, too. So you cannot keep it like all the time at the same level, obviously.
No.
But, for me, like, I figured out through experience neutrality is the best, because that's when your energy is neutral and calm. You're
Yeah.
more productive, you don't create this energy waves that might cause some ripples. Um,
So you don't give energy to anything that you hear, good or bad. You just stay neutral,
right. Yeah.
or at
I
least
just kind of,
try.
I feel it through, and it's usually misinformation or just trying to distract or scare. So I focus on the feeling inside, which I feel like I'm totally safe no matter what they say.
Mm-hmm.
And will always have something to eat. There's no need to stack up on it. Like all those people everywhere
I
scaring
know.
this or
I'm catching
that.
on to them.
Yeah, I just like it's gonna be fine.
They're
What kind of
becoming obvious. When your vibration gets higher, you start to see people for who they really are, and you can tell which ones are trying to trigger you. And yeah,
right?
there's
And
no
it
reason to fear.
right. And it's funny when they try to trigger you, but you're like calmly change the topic or don't respond or switch to
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah.
They like forget about it. So
Well, I'm very grateful for you sharing your energy with me, and I really do appreciate that.
thanks. I'm disconnecting. You're just walking around, you're throwing flowers and stars around. 109, by the way. 9 or 6, remember that number. I'm stopping the recording.